Imagine a world where the air is clean, the water is pure, and nature thrives in harmony with human progress. Now, picture that same world ravaged by pollution, climate disasters, and ecological collapse. Which future will we choose? The answer may lie in an unexpected place, our faith. Welcome to the Heart of Catholicism YouTube channel, the Catholic path to peace, where God's faith changes our lives. Today, we're diving into a topic that's not just scientific or political, but deeply moral and spiritual: the role of the Church in protecting our environment. Climate change, biodiversity loss, and pollution aren't just abstract issues. They reach challenges that strike at the very heart of human dignity, justice, and the future of God's creation. As Catholics, we're called to be stewards of the earth, not its owners. This isn't just about recycling or driving hybrid cars. It's about living out our faith in a way that honors the Creator by caring for His creation. It's a spiritual duty that combines our love for God with our ethical responsibility to act for the common good. Let's start by looking at the theological foundation for this calling. In Genesis, God gives humans dominion over the earth. But this isn't a license to exploit. It's a sacred trust to cultivate and protect. We're accountable for how we treat this gift, and misusing it isn't just bad policy. It's a moral failing. Catholic social teaching takes this even further, emphasizing that care for creation is inseparable from care for our fellow humans. Climate change hits the poor hardest, so protecting the environment is protecting human dignity. And when we think about leaving a livable planet for our children and grandchildren, we're practicing intergenerational justice, a cornerstone of our faith's vision for a just world. This isn't a new idea for the Church. Early Christian thinkers like St. Augustine saw nature as a beautiful sign of God's presence. Medieval monasteries were pioneers of sustainable living, carefully managing land, preserving seeds, and showing how faith communities could live in harmony with creation. These traditions remind us that environmental care has deep roots in Christian life. In our modern era, the Church continues to lead on this issue. Pope Francis' encyclical Laudato Si in 2015 was a game changer, reframing ecology as a moral and spiritual crisis. It calls for an integral ecology that links care for the environment with care for the poor and global justice. This powerful document has influenced governments, organizations, and movements far beyond the Catholic world. The Church isn't working alone. We're rejoining hands with other Christian denominations and world religions to create a united, moral voice for environmental justice. This interfaith cooperation shows that protecting our common home transcends cultural and political divides. It asks a shared human duty. But it's not just about big statements from the Vatican. Real change is happening in local parishes and communities. Churches are installing solar panels, switching to renewable energy, and reducing waste. Catholic schools are teaching sustainable living as part of discipleship. Faith-based organizations like Catholic Relief Services are on the front lines, addressing the impacts of climate change on vulnerable populations. When the Church speaks on environmental issues, it brings a unique moral weight to the conversation. By framing climate change as an ethical crisis, we encourage governments and communities to act with the urgency this challenge demands. We remind the world that this isn't just about economics or politics. It asks about our fundamental values and our relationship with God as creation. Crucially, the Church emphasizes the link between environmental destruction and poverty. Rising seas, droughts, and pollution hit the most vulnerable communities first and hardest. This means that protecting creation is inseparable from our commitment to social justice and human dignity. Of course, this journey isn't without its challenges. Some believers struggle to reconcile traditional theology with modern climate science. Others view environmental concerns as purely political rather than moral issues. Church leaders face the delicate task of educating and inspiring without alienating those who are skeptical. There is also the challenge of moving from words to action. Critics rightly point out that statements and encyclicals must be matched by real, measurable changes both in the Vatican and in local parishes. The credibility of our message depends on living out what we preach. As we conclude, let's remember that the Church's role in environmental protection is about being a moral compass. We remind society that climate change isn't just about policies and technologies, it's about values, justice, and human dignity. We recall to be voices of hope and catalysts for change in a world that desperately needs both. So, I leave you with this question to reflect on. What role should faith communities play in the global response to climate change? How can we, as individuals and as a church, better live out our calling to be stewards of God's creation? Your thoughts and experiences matter in this crucial conversation. Share them in the comments below. And if you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe to join our community of faith-inspired action. Together, we can be part of the solution, showing the world that protecting the environment is an act of love for God, for our neighbors, and for the beautiful world we've been entrusted to care for. Until next time, may your faith inspire you to be a force for good in our common home. God bless you all.